Well, welcome to the Fragrance Nut. Hey, today we're going to talk about one of my favorite houses, as none other, the House of Guerlain. And there's a particular reason why this has become one of my favorite houses, because of some of the notes that they just have absolute perfection in. And we're going to talk about that. But today we're going to talk about Shalimar L Essence that came out in 2025. So Delphine Jelk has been doing some really great work alongside of Jacques and Pierre. I believe it's probably Pierre now, but in the beginning was Jacques Guerlain. But anyway, this here, in the top of it, you're going to have some incense at the top that gives it a little smoke provided in there. You're going to have some almond, and that gives it, I don't know if it's coming from the almonds itself, if it's coming from peaches, or if it's coming from apricot, which also gives an almondy smell. And then you got some bergamot. Of course, everyone puts bergamot for whatever reason in the top, because it will burn off. So I don't really get much citrus from this. And then in the mid, or in the heart, you got some iris. So it is some powdery there. You got some musk, you got some amber. Now that's very interesting that she would put that amber in, and I'm gonna tell you why at the end of the video, why that is really interesting that she did that. And that might give it this familiarity to the original vintage. And then it's got some opanax in there. And so that's kind of gives it that spice. Then in the heart of the fragrance, that's where it's going to finally get into the dry down, and we get some of that Madagascar vanilla. We're going to get some musk. We got another synthetic type of vanilla, and that happened back in the heart of the fragrance. And then you got some benzoin, you got some tonka bean, and you got some leather. But what made it interesting in this, that Delphine did this, most notably to Jacques Guerlain's credit, is the very first perfumer to introduce amber in fragrances. He was the very first that had ever put amber inside the fragrance. And the vanilla, I believe, that's why Guerlain became such stable, and especially back then. And then they do really good incense. So with that incense, that amber, and that vanilla, perfect. So who I see wearing this, of course, anyone above 35 and 45, 50, perfect if you're going to gift this to someone, if you find yourself in that age range. I don't really find anyone 20-ish wearing this unless they just really mature for them, their age. And this here, it'll never, in my opinion, my humble opinion, it will not dethrone the vintage. If you're not familiar with the vintage, this could be good. Sometimes Shalimar or House of Guerlain, through the flanker of Shalimar, sometimes they will do a vanilla centered fragrance. Sometimes they'll do an iris one, or they may do a tonka bean jasmine one. I think they even did a jasmine Shalimar. I guess that's just to keep it God, what's the word I want for that? To keep it relevant. And so, but Shalimar isn't going anywhere. Get your nose on this. It's a very good one. It's a very warm fragrance. This would be great as an evening wear fragrance. It doesn't push out a lot. It doesn't, it's not a beast mode fragrance. It does push a little bit, project pretty good within the first maybe 2-3 hours, and then it kind of come in closer to you. So anybody within your circumference will still have that smell that you have. It's, to me, is modern. So I believe that's where Delphine Jelk was trying to go with this, was that she's trying to reach a younger set, because maybe you don't want to remind yourself of grandma or whatever, because this would have definitely been in the, say, 40s, 50s, definitely 60s fragrance. So, but if you tried this, let me know. But if you could, and especially if you're going to gift something like this to, say, your grandmother, or you want to take her back, try to get yourself something of the vintage. Now this was not sent to me. This was sent along with things that I buy out of Vegas, out of the boutique of Galan. But I was going to say, if you ever decide to possibly get you a vintage, I would trust FragranceVault.com. They tend to have some really good vintages from time to time, and Galan absolutely would be one of them. So that's all I have right now to say. I do have some shipments coming in, so we're gonna really talk. I'm still on the hunt for these tea fragrances for whatever reason. And I'm not a real big tea drinker. Go figure, I love coffee. But I do also like hibiscus tea if I were drinking tea. So anyway, like, share, subscribe. Above all, nothing else, leave a comment. Are there some fragrances you think that I may need to try? Because I may go back after this tea thing I got going on, and then I'm going to start doing some irises, and that's what I'm waiting to come in. I want to do just some particular houses that do iris, and then how do they compare to some of my old favorite irises from like Prada or things like that, or Xerjoff iris. So anyway, thanks for stopping by. See you in another video. Bye.